Hi people, how you all doing? Welcome and welcome back to the channel. It is your girl, I'm hoping, Sandra here. Okay, so it's Sandra here. And we're going to be getting into, you know who? We're going to be getting into Douglas Murray, okay? Today's video is titled Douglas Murray Shuts Up Hating Immigration Activists on Colonialism. Okay, let us get into this. Okay, this is gonna be hot. It's gonna be heated. Okay, well, it depends on the approach of the immigration activists, because I know Douglas Murray doesn't hesitate or mince his words. Okay, so let's just get right into this video. Okay.
My name is George Fotopoulos. I would like to make a point to Mr. Murray. The last point you made in favor of the motion was that the people of Europe have the right to protect their identity and that their politicians should respect that right. And I would like to ask you why you feel that the presence of one or two or 1,000 people with a different identity within a society threatens the identity of the people who were in the society originally. Whether you believe that is a legitimate concern or a primal fear, and whether you agree that when a primal fear drives a crowd, they become a mob, and that a politician should follow a mob and not provide leadership by calming the mob down and giving them a reason. That's my question.
Thank you. And towards the back.
Hello, my name is Eli Liu. I was a student in University of Piraeus International European Studies, and I won't be very quick, but I am against the motion, and I would like to say that European Union was an ex-colonial power, so most of the countries of the Third World were exploited from us. So now we cannot say that we don't accept them, because most of their riches and their wealth were taken from us. And as for what Mr. Voridis said about our values as Europeans, it's the globalization that takes
Just repeat that sentence, will you, please? You stopped in the middle.
Yes, our values. Mr. Voridis talked about our values as European citizens, as humans. Well, I think globalization takes them from us and not immigrants. And about the shadow economy, it's the fault of the state control that doesn't eliminate it. And
right, okay, that'll do for the moment. Let's first of all get those points picked up. Douglas Murray, your response particularly to that challenge to you.
Right, very quickly. First of all, if I were Hassan in Syria, I would hope, among other things, that I would help to rebuild my country after the Assad dynasty had wrecked it so completely. I'd hope that I would stay and help to rebuild the country after the devastation caused by that family. Secondly, the gentleman here who said one or two people, the gentleman here said, why are you threatened by one or two people? I'm not threatened by one or two people. Nobody is threatened by one or two people. The figures I gave you showed we're not talking about one or two people. The figure I gave you at the very beginning was that people who identify as white British citizens are now a minority in their capital cities. So we're not talking about one or two people, and it is very disingenuous to pretend that I was. Thirdly, the lady at the back, you say colonialism. I'd like to return the question to you. I don't deny the crimes of colonialism, not for a moment. I'd like to ask you a question. How long do former colonial countries have to be punished for then? How long do we have to have our identity erased for? Is there any end limit to it in your eyes, or is it only at the point of complete negation? And finally, why is it that it's only European former colonialist countries? One of the largest and most significant and longest colonial powers in history was the Turkish Empire. Do we do this to Turkey? Do we say to Turkey, you must have your identity erased as well as punishment for the past? Almost every single people in the world at some point has done something historically they could be punished for. But why, I wonder, is it that it is Europeans that we are always being heard, being offered that choice?
Douglas Murray's response to the Muslim woman's comments about colonialism and the wealth of Europe offers a poignant critique of the narrative of Western guilt that is prevalent in contemporary discussions about immigration and historical justice. He challenges the idea that Europe must perpetually atone for its colonial past, pointing out that history is not one-dimensional and that many other nations have histories of conquest and colonization, but are not held to the same standards of restitution and guilt. This argument draws attention to a perceived imbalance in how historical accountability is applied, suggesting a politicized narrative that selectively targets Western nations. It is important to note that the concept of historical guilt and reparations is complex and fraught with inconsistencies. For instance, historian and author Victor Davis Hanson argues that while the West engaged in colonialism, it also led the movements for abolition of slavery and colonial independence. Hanson notes that Western civilization, despite its flaws, has made significant contributions to the moral and technological progress of humanity. Furthermore, the focus on Western guilt often ignores the contributions made by immigrants to their host countries. According to a report by the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, OKCD immigrants contribute significantly to the economies of their host countries through entrepreneurship, filling vital job vacancies, and cultural enrichment. However, the narrative that frames immigrants solely as victims of historical injustices can overshadow these positive contributions, potentially fostering resentment rather than integration. Statistics from the European Union indicate that while many EU countries have taken steps to address historical injustices through various forms of reparations or symbolic gestures, these efforts have not always led to improved relations between native populations and immigrant communities. The European Commission's reports on integration stress that successful integration policies should focus on mutual respect and understanding rather than perpetuating narratives of guilt and victimhood. Other commentators, such as French philosopher Pascal Bruckner, have critiqued the tyranny of guilt in Europe, arguing that it hampers the continent's ability to confidently engage with the rest of the world on equal terms. Bruckner suggests that an excessive focus on historical grievances can prevent societies from moving forward and addressing contemporary challenges pragmatically. Douglas Murray's critique of the Western guilt narrative highlights a need for a more balanced and less accusatory approach in discussing historical issues. While it is crucial to acknowledge and learn from the past, it is equally important to recognize the complexities of history and the shared human propensity for both virtue and vice. By shifting the dialogue towards mutual respect and cooperation, societies can better manage the challenges of immigration and integration, fostering environments where all members can contribute positively and feel valued.
Okay. I think I've seen one too many of like videos like this about like, oh, the Western and the immigrants guilt and victim blame and all of that, right? I just have one question. There's this saying that I know, and I believe the saying comes from somewhere, right? If you're in Rome, you behave like the Romans, right? If you go to Rome, you behave like the Romans. Literally means wherever you go outside what you've known, outside your home country, you learn to behave like them, not be like them. Behave in the sense that you integrate yourself into the society, into the already working system that you met. Doesn't necessarily mean that you should forget all that you are or like all that shapes you into who you are right now. Behaving like them doesn't necessarily mean becoming like the Romans. So if you're an immigrant in the United Kingdom, obviously something brought you there. Something made you leave your country to go to the UK because you saw something better than your country had to offer you. So it was a decision that you made for yourself for the betterment of your future to go to the UK. Okay? We can't all eat our cake and have it. It's not possible. I mean, maybe some people could, but like it's not common to eat your cake and have it. So in as much as you love your culture, you love all that you've known, and you also want to reach a certain level financially and just in your workspace, and you have to move to a whole new country for it, and you also want to take, your culture, you want to take your country into it. I mean, it's asking for too much. I feel like we as humans, sometimes we do struggle with difference, we do struggle with acceptance, we do struggle with being open-minded. Like, there's this thing, there's something that I feel like anyone who really wants to relocate or migrate into another country should really practice is open mindedness, right? Like, being very open minded would take you a whole lot of places. And I'm grateful for people like Douglas Murray, because in a case where someone who isn't open minded and well informed on how to integrate and just be a part of like the new community they find themselves wouldn't know, Douglas Murray is there to let you know that, okay, this isn't how it is. Yes, we do know the past. I'm black, so you cannot even say that, oh, I'm, trying to like side Douglas because of my race or whatever. We do know the past, but I believe that we're looking at the future. Like, we're looking straight ahead, okay? Like, for how long? Like, seriously, I want to be like Douglas when I grow up, because he is so factual. He is very strange with his points. He is very informed. And, I just want to be that kind of person that is so knowledgeable about vital things, about things of great essence, and not scared or intimidated or unsure of yourself when you're defending a wrong narrative that is being aggressively pushed into the public. Yeah, so I just want to be like that basically. But this was actually kind of like interactive. It wasn't even interactive. It was more like, okay, this is my question, and Douglas just give it to them. So I really do hope that we learn that as humans. I mean, even me, I feel like I could struggle sometimes in accepting difference, because you cannot go to Rome and want Rome to be like you. Would you want Rome to come over to your place and ask you be like them? If you get what I mean. Like, we should be very rational, and I think this is just like a whole selfish thinking, right? You're not thinking about the other person. And with the girl, she's like coming from the place of justification, saying that, oh, they're the victim, so it's more like the UK should be like change, or like rather like put themselves down for them in order to like apologize for like the past. Come on, we're 2024. Yeah, we are in 2024. Let's keep on moving forward, and just think forward, right? Forward thinking, right? So anyways, I did get into this, and I want to know what y'all think about this, because honestly, this is what I think about this. Is my opinion, right? But I'm very much open to knowing y'all's opinion, so please do share all of that down in the comment box, regardless of if it's conflicting. As long as we're respectful, I'm really gonna appreciate it. Do not hesitate to like this video if you did like it. Subscribe for more amazing content as such. Hit that share button, okay? Share the video to a lot more people that may need this information, or do not know Douglas Murray and do need to know about his factual discussions, okay? And positive awareness from people, I hope we do get to convey here. Let us keep on staying safe and healthy. Bye.